Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about bipolar II disorder, and as I've stated in some of my other videos, that bipolar II disorder is very similar to bipolar 1, have the same symptoms with the exceptions of the mania side, or the manic side as a lot of people call it. The manic side is with bipolar II disorder is considered hypomania or hypomanic. Okay, it's not like full-blown mania like I have. It's a milder form, and the thing with hypomania is when it comes to the hypomania side of it, the depressive side is still very similar to bipolar 1. The depressive side can be very, very severe, and the mania side, though, the hypomania side, it tends to max out, with people performing well at work, thoughts racing, things like that. And they can get irritable, just like I do with bipolar 1 disorder. They can get very irritable. The thing about the irritability with the bipolar 2 disorder, a lot of times the people with bipolar 2 disorder doesn't understand the triggers that are making them irritable. Okay, and it can be just about anything. It's got a lot to do with people irritating them. Either what they're doing or what they're saying is just a constant irritation, and it keeps getting to be like that. Bipolar 2 disorder, if I remember correctly, if it's not treated, and if it goes untreated, then that mania can turn into full-blown mania, and bipolar 2 disorder can escalate into bipolar 1 disorder. I really hate seeing that happen to people, and that's why I always recommend going and seeking help. Like I say, the periods with bipolar 2 disorder, the periods of where your moods are, they don't last as long. You got to have at least, to be diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder, you have to have at least one depressive episode and one hypomania episode. And the problem is with being diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder is a lot of people go to seek help when they're depressed. And that can lead to actually a misdiagnosis, because the depression in bipolar 2 disorder is just like it's just like depression, period. It's like the depression in bipolar 1 disorder, clinical depression, and on like that. So it can be misdiagnosed a lot as just depression. Okay, when you go and seek help for bipolar 2 depression, if you are in a depressed state, you also need to tell them about your manic state. The state where you have all this energy. You're constantly moving, you have racing thoughts. It's hard to keep track of one thing from the other because of how fast your thoughts are going through your head. You need to let them know about that. On the depressive side, The worst thing is that you need to let them know about is feelings of suicide. Okay? When you're depressed to the point that you feel you shouldn't exist, uh, feel that you're worthless and things like that, you need to let them know if you've had thoughts of suicide. Because uh, typically a lot of people talk about death, okay? And they talk about dying. Uh, that's something that happens to everybody once in a while, especially if they're depressed. The problem with bipolar disorder, depression and bipolar disorder, is when you hit that lowest of lows, you may feel that that you can put yourself out of your misery, by doing this, and that's where a lot of people end up killing themselves. If if you're somebody that suspects that a friend of yours or a family member of yours has bipolar disorder, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, or any of those, uh, and you see that they're going around and starting to get their affairs in order, uh, that's time to worry. Okay, that's time to worry. And so anyway, like I say, with bipolar 2 disorder, everything is symptom wise, everything is pretty much the same as bipolar 1. Bipolar disorder is bipolar disorder, whether you have bipolar disorder 1, bipolar disorder 2, or any of the lower ones. Uh, and as I say, if you go untreated, then these can escalate. Even if you have the lower, uh, otherwise not stated, they can progress up the chain and hit cyclosomatic, hit bipolar 2 disorder, and if still untreated, it can go into bipolar 1 disorder. And as you can tell by my previous videos talking about me, bipolar 1 disorder is nothing to play with, okay? Uh, it will take you down fast. Depression, even clinical depression, will take a person down fast. Will will bring a person to attempt suicide or even commit suicide. When they hit that state, that's when they feel there's nothing left. That they have nothing left. Life just doesn't matter to them anymore because they feel worthless, uh, disconnected. Nobody likes them. Nobody cares about them. I get those feelings a lot of times, and then they will go and try something. Usually, if it's female, they usually do it with pills, poisons, and stuff like that. If it's a male makes no qualms about putting a gun to his head and pulling the trigger. Just putting it in plain English. Okay? If you're out there and you know somebody, like I say, a family member or something like that, you suspect that they have bipolar disorder, please do something. Uh, if they're in a depressed state, whatever you do, don't put them down. Do not put them down. The more you put them down, the worse you make them feel about themselves, and they may do it. I had a grandson do it, okay? because he felt like there was nothing left. And that's a crying shame, because he was just in his 20s. One thing you'll notice about a person with bipolar II disorder is even though they go through the hypomania, they do come out of that. It generally doesn't last very long with them, and they do come out of that, and they can possibly go straight into the depression. You see things start bothering them a lot. You see they tend to not take care of their personal hygiene. They kind of let that go. They're having a lot of trouble sleeping and eating, things like that. But sometimes with bipolar II disorder, when they're in that hypomania state, and they're going along, and then all of a sudden, to you, they seem like they're being their normal, not your normal, not anybody else's normal, but their normal. They perform like they normally would, when they're in just a regular, basically level state. Okay, and I don't call it normal, because everybody has their own normal. All right, it's not the societal normal. It's what they normally do, and they may be in that state for months, for months at a time, and then bam, drop off into depression. What triggers them to go there? It's hard to say. Or they might be their normal, doing their normal stuff, and bam, straight up, okay, into hypomania. And in hypomania, they have a little better control over what they're doing. They have a little bit of control over what they're doing, but they're doing everything at an accelerated rate of speed, okay? They're thinking at an accelerated rate. If they're working at an accelerated rate. They're talking excessively fast, sometimes so fast you can't understand what they're saying. And that's the hypomania state, just like hypomania, or full-blown mania, as they call it. So anyway, this video is going to be kind of short because, like I say, bipolar II disorder has the same symptoms as bipolar I disorder. It's just a lot less, okay, with the exceptions of the depression. The depression can go seriously deep. The depression can go deep enough that they can commit suicide, okay, become harmful to themselves or others. That's where irritability comes in. They get irritable because they don't feel loved. They don't feel needed or wanted. They feel worthless. A lot of times what you say to them will make them feel worthless, even more so. So this disorder, and being a person that's had it all their life, this disorder is nothing to play with. It is a serious disorder, okay? So just like PTSD. PTSD is a very serious disorder. That's why you have all these ex-military guys and women killing themselves. A lot of times with these disorders, bipolar disorder and even PTSD, you will find a lot of alcohol abuse, because if they're depressed, they're trying to ease their pain. If they're in the mania side, they're trying to basically what you would call celebrate their mania. You know, they're out celebrating, having a good old time and everything like this because they're so high, even without the alcohol. And it also, people with these disorders also uh, can end up at, abusing drugs for the same reasons. They're trying to, in depression, they're trying to medicate that hurt, okay, the pain that they're feeling. In the mania side, manic, they're in a celebration mode, so they take more pills or do more coke or whatever, uh, which can lead to death as well on either side, on the mania side or the depression side, because either way they're going to take more and more and more. On the mania side, they're going to take more and more and more to celebrate life. Everything's happy-go-lucky. On the depression side, they're going to take more and more because they're trying to medicate. They're trying to escape that pain, escape reality. Uh, thinking that the drugs like alcohol is going to make them feel better. All right, and it's not. I mean, when you think about it, alcohol is a big downer anyway. So that can drive them deeper into depression. So if you've been watching these videos, watch for some of the signs that I've been telling you about. Watch for some of the signs that I explain that I have with mine. Uh, if you're a family member or a friend, watch for those signs. Do what you can to try to help. If you don't know what to do to try to help, call somebody, find out what they recommend you do. Maybe you can talk the person into going to the hospital if need be, to get some help. Because there's just way too many people dying in this country today, in this world today. I think about that all the time. Not about myself dying, but everybody else dying. I hear about these suicides. My grandson, a few others, and it disturbs me. It really does. It really does. It's been a long time since I've thought about it, and I hate to see that pain in other people. I see that pain in some people at work. I see that pain in people just in general. You can see that pain. You see them break down. So please, like I say, if you do know anybody that has bipolar, if you suspect that you have bipolar disorder, go ahead and get something done. Go get checked out. Go get an evaluation. And follow that therapist or that psychiatrist's lead. They're going to try to guide you to ways and show you ways to help. Whether it's psychotherapy or medication, they have mood stabilizers out there. They have antidepressants out there. Some of them are really, really good. Just follow the plan. Follow the plan and survive. That's about all I'm going to do on the bipolar part, because, it kind of starts to bother me a little bit when I get talking too much about it. It makes me think too much about me. So, so anyway, I think on my next couple of videos, I'm going to kind of break away from the psychological stuff here for a while and get back on our pets a little bit, because I've found out some really good information and stuff like that, and so I'm going to bring that to you. Okay, so for now, this time of night, it's dark outside and it's still in the 20s and it's cold. But for now, I'm going to get off of here. I'll get this video on shortly, as soon as I run it through an editor and see if there's anything I want to fix on it. But you guys have a great night. Enjoy your night. And until the next video, I'm going to say bye-bye.